I can't speak without swearing, and I've only got my grade 10, and I haven't had a cigarette since I've been arrested, and I'm ready to fucking snap. So I'd like to make a request under the People's Freedom of Choices and Voices Act that I be able to smoke and swear in your courtroom. Because if I can't smoke and swear, I'm fucked. And so are all these guys.
You're listening to Calling the Audible.
My first order of business is to tell the prosecutor to shut the fuck up and wipe that stupid fucking grin off his face because it's distraculating my case.
The official Division III podcast for Flag Plus football.
You're not buying any of this bullshit, are you?
Sit down, please, sir, or you'll be in contempt of court, and watch your language.
Yeah, lady, sit the fuck down. The truth fucking hurts, doesn't it, you son of a bitch?
Booby sub booby, Ricky.
Okay.
Whatever.
With your hosts, Brett Callender and Pease Delarees.
Defense rests. Everybody can fuck off. Except you. So I didn't mean you, but
Thank you,
guys,
Richard.
Him.
You may be
Can
seated.
you guys get the fuck out of the way, please?
Welcome everyone, and you're listening to and perhaps watching Calling the Audible, the show with the most attractive viewers and listeners of all time. I am a three-time made-up award winner, Paulo Della Rocca, Pease Delarees for those of you who know, and the man I one time found in a dumpster, Brett Callender. You can follow Brett Callender by tweeting him at ThatPrettyBoyBC. You can tweet me at PeaseFPF, and if you want to tweet the show live, you can tweet our semi-award-winning producer, because really the credit always goes to me, at EagleFPF. Even when it's imaginary, I still take the credit. If you're watching, of course, you know that you are watching on www.theunclemikeshow.com. If you're not watching, then you should be. We are in Coast to Coast Studios, everyone. Remember, at 9 o'clock, there is the Uncle Mike Show. Eagle will at some point let me know who the guests are, so we will let you know, everyone. Until then, we have lots of Division 3 to talk about.
Woo!
Some great games. I want to give some love.
Oh!
It's tough.
I think it's too late. They already turned their back on you, so they won't care.
I'm doing it for me. It's like
I was always on your side, by the way.
Alright.
Not your side, this team's side. Not
You're always on my side. I like it, Brent. I guess with you, I'll never walk alone.
That's a good segue.
Yeah, I guess. for a name of a podcast, that doesn't make sense. Past our prime, they put up 40 and beat the Monsters 40-19. That is impressive. Monsters is a team I've been high on. It's a team I thought was a little underrated coming into the season. Now I have all sorts of questions, which if you've read my article, or if you haven't, please read my article. You'll see I talk about that a little bit, and I'll probably touch on that a little bit in this weekend's article as well. If not, which is what I normally do, is I forget what I say on the show, so
you just
don't
read
be
it
surprised
again
if it's not in the article. Did you expect Monsters to put up more of a fight yourself?
Yeah, big time, man. Monsters have been really... They've gone past their ceiling, I think, in Division 3. No one really expected them to put up such a good record to this point. But Past Our Prime is a really good team. And the thing they do well is they use their smarts on the field. Craig O'Brien, most people would think this is like more of an elder gentleman and he can't play quarterback at this level, but he's so smart with his decisions. Never makes too many mistakes and he reads the field so well. He has really good wide receivers. They're not the fastest guys, but they run really good routes. He actually had Scott Maronowitz sparing in this game, and Dale Williams played a big factor. Kevin Wilson, a person absent right there is our own Vinny Guilano, Vinny Guilano. I know he misses that. I know he misses it. Yeah, he didn't even play in this game, and they were still able to put up 40 points on a good Monstars defense. So I'm not too shocked, but it's a little bit more surprising on the Monstars side. Pastor Prime has done this all year.
You mentioned Kevin Wilson. How good is Pastor Prime's Kevin Wilson?
Well, his numbers speak for themselves.
7 interceptions in Division 3. That's a big deal.
And 3 touchdowns in this game alone on a Monstars defense that has Rod Mashtub and I don't want to say this guy's name wrong, but it's Marudi or something. Go back to the.
I can't even decipher who you're talking about.
It's Raul Barudi.
That's not bad, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Bad. Yeah, see, yeah, he's him and Mashtub on that, and Isaiah Lard to be able to get 3 touchdowns against that kind of defense. Yeah. I think that speaks volumes about Kevin Wilson.
To me, Kevin Wilson's known more as a defensive player. What I'm most surprised at is his ability to read and react on the field, and he's quick. So he makes a break on the ball. Quarterbacks often have No idea how he picked them off. No idea how he got to the pass. So absolutely, definitely. I was surprised by how good he was playing him in the first week of the season. So absolutely.
Nice bounce back win for Past Our Prime too, because they lost
Absolutely,
last week.
and
it's important for them to get it.
I thought would have some trouble in the second half, and they've lost a couple of games. But this is a game that I thought was a trap game for them. I thought they were going to lose.
It's good to see them come out.
But good to see them go out and handle their
That's
business.
a vet right there. That's what a veteran does.
Absolutely. Speaking of teams that aren't vets, we had a face-off between two new Division 3 games. Sea Assassins put up 50.
Oh
and
my!
Last Souls 50-14.
I don't even know.
It's a great...
typically
great
from
they haven't been
in the
great
past.
this season.
No, not this season. Ah man, I don't even know what to say. I don't want to big up Sea Assassins because I played them and they beat us. They beat us on the last play of the game. They had a really good game against us. But Mo Khan joins us live in studio with a funky haircut. Did you pay for that?
Slow Khan.
Hey, why did you come?
I hope you didn't pay for that haircut.
No.
Anyway, Daniel Lazara is
It's like a Vanilla Ice made a mistake.
Yeah, whack, baby. What's up, Mo Khan? Missed you, man. Yeah, Daniel Lazara, so legit. Zach
Still hasn't thrown an interception.
I told you, man.
In
He's
8 games in Division 3.
And he had all his weapons here. Hey, Terry's here too. He had all his weapons here in this game. Zach Jonio is uncoverable, I think, in Division 3, which I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought he'd have maybe a little bit of a harder time transitioning from 4 to 3, but he's still putting up crazy numbers.
What's he at now?
Blanchet,
like 19 TDs or something?
something like that.
Yeah, that's
something
ridiculous.
like that. And
are they the best tandem in Division 4? Division 3, sorry.
Division 3.
And he's got four,
Would I
by the way, has 4 games with 4 touchdowns.
Because I've played against them, I'm going to say yes, but they're just slightly ahead, I will say, of Robbie and John Laristis. I think they're a pretty deadly combo.
That's fair. Which is a high praise in itself. There's going to be some news coming from the league in a couple of days. Sea Assassins, a couple of players are actually going to be facing some discipline for a game that happened in Division 4 that involved 2 of their players. It's going to have huge playoff implications. Dan Lazara, I think, will be in the playoffs. They have another player, Florillo is his name, who may...
is it because maybe playing
missing Sean Florillo, that's it, who may be missing some more action. But that being said, with a couple of games left, and holding on to that second spot, the possibility of losing Dan Lazara might be a big deal.
What do you mean might?
It definitely is a big deal.
That's pretty much if we didn't have an economy.
All right.
It's pretty close.
Those are words that you said to describe the situation.
Pretty accurate.
Absolutely. So that's just something to think about. And we're going to get into the playoff breakdown, of course, in our next segment. Ben Leger, on the other side of the ball, has been all over the map as quarterback. Why has Las Sosa's offense been struggling to find consistency?
I don't think it's that they've been struggling to find consistency. I just think playing in Division 5 and 4, they didn't need to depend on their offense as much because their defense was so good. I mean, in Division 5 and 4, they used to average points against maybe about 18 a game. All they had to do was score 4 touchdowns, and their quarterback was usually athletic enough to run around and make enough plays. And
Francois Raymond,
yeah.
But he's also missing as a safety. And that's a big deal to me.
Yeah, definitely.
He's rangy. They've been a team that's he's deceptively rangy. And the thing is that they're the kind of team that will make mistakes, but know that they're going to get the ball back.
Yeah.
So that
they'll
still be able to put up points.
But you don't get the ball back as much in Div 3.
Exactly. So definitely that could be something that maybe their model needs to change a bit. A team bringing in a new model at quarterback was solid this week. They started Anton Sakis as they beat Prestige Worldwide 40-33. I want to ask you a question. I can only ask you because obviously for reasons you'll know in a second, I can't ask GM Clethers this question. So I'm glad to have you on the show today. Is Solid better with Anton Sakis than Benny Goodfriend?
Oh, that's such a bold question.
Yes. If you're scared, go to church.
No, they're not better with Anton Sakis. I don't think it's just procedural.
You want me to say something?
Go ahead.
Something that GM doesn't want me to say. Something you want me to say? Yes, because to me, and Mo Khan will disagree, of course, because if you played 30 years ago, you're obviously better than someone who's playing now, regardless of talent. So, in my opinion, we have 3 rising stars. at quarterback in this division, not necessarily known. Dan Lazare, we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Fred Morrissett's up there. But the next guy...
Of course you would say Fred Morissette.
But also,
yeah, he is.
Numbers say Fred
I know.
Morrisette as well. That being
That's what
said...
I'm saying. Thank you. Go ahead.
Sure. You don't have to agree. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
That being said, the next on that list for me, and we're not talking about it because he played Division 5 2 seasons ago, is Anton Sakis. I think he's
I'm not saying he's not good or he's not legit enough to play Division 3. I just think that they played a team that in Procedural Y that doesn't play a lot of defense. Procedural Y is looking to outscore you, kind of more like a Sea Assassin's recipe, where they're just going to put the pressure on you to match as many points. And Sakis is the type of guy, if he's playing a defense that's not the best, he could light you up. So, I mean, him throwing 6 touchdowns in Division...
No chance.
I don't think...
What?
They had no chance against us. Like 0.
See?
Yeah, I don't... But to me, to be honest, I honestly think it's more than just one game.
No, because I saw Anton Sakis throw against Meta Mayhem, and he had a little bit more...
In his first game with receivers he's never played with in his life,
fair enough.
with a snapper he's never played with in his life,
Paul Pierre calling the plays.
with Paul Pierre calling the plays.
True.
Thank you, Terry Tan, for the insider
Well,
knowledge.
he's got insider knowledge.
That being said, to be honest, in my opinion, I remember seeing him in his first game in Division 5, and I said, I don't care what division that kid plays in. That's one of the best quarterbacks.
He's
I've
kind of
seen
like
play
your
in a long
baby
time.
that you've brought along, huh?
Absolutely.
Too bad you can't recruit him.
Oh, it's coming. Anton,
Don't do it.
to come to the dark side. We have a
my boy, Aridi.
because it is calling the audible.
Batman. Remember, he's Batman.
Yeah, he's
I told you
I
that.
remember.
He's Batman.
He says, "Yeah, Brent is back again." Win, by the way, is Solid still in? We're gonna get to that, Ryan. So you need to stay tuned for the next segment. And he says, I need to know in case I'm listening to the podcast for nothing. Ryan, you were never listening to the podcast for nothing because you're you're basically the celebrity of the show. Which, speaking of celebrities, on the Uncle Mike show tonight, he has a special guest. It should be at 9:00 tonight. He has Malik Saheed, TV host, celebrity interviewer, event producer, and youth and community advocate. So stay tuned for that. Absolutely, that'll come right after the show. You'll never do something or nothing with Mokan and Terry Tam, the Division 4 podcast,
Division 5
podcast. I should probably know our own programming. The other question I have about, man, I guess this is gonna answer Ryan's question, is can Solid win out and make the playoffs?
Can you bring up their schedule? That would be if I could use a GM Calethra's line.
Monstars.
Yeah, because our producer's a little slow in general.
Monstars, they can win that game, and Past Our Prime. The Past Our Prime game's the tough one for them, I'm going to say, because I think Craig can, I like to call him, can beat up your defense a bit. They'll definitely beat Monstars. Past Our Prime, I say flip a coin, because maybe Past Our Prime might not come out their best week 10. They might not be playing for as much. Maybe their position might be already locked. Though I still imagine them giving a good effort. Mm-hmm. But if Solid has something to play for, then they're a dangerous team because they have a lot of talent on that team.
I agree.
Including Terry Tam.
To be honest, I think both games are coin flip. And of course, we'll get to the predictions later on in the show anyway. When we come back, it is the return of Map Madness.
That's a good segue because March Madness is starting Tuesday.
There we go. It's almost like I prepared for the show.
Calling the Audible has been brought to you by the English Montreal School Board's DEAL program. Distance education for all learners will allow you to obtain your high school diploma or prerequisites for CEGEP or vocational studies from the comfort of your own home. It's never too late to go back to school. Learn anywhere at your own pace and get your diploma. Call 514-788-5937 for information or visit www.distanted.ca for more details.
Welcome everyone, and Brent Calendar, shut up while I do the intro. The reset, rather. We are joined in the studio by Brent Calendar, who now finally shut up, and you can tweet him, tell him to shut up at ThatPrettyBoyBC. If you want to tweet me and tell me to keep talking, which clearly you do, you can tweet me at PeasFPF. If you want to tweet the show live, like Ryan Aridi has just done, in somewhat of a tongue-in-cheek sort of matter, which we'll get to in a second, you can tweet at EagleFPF. Remember, you're watching at www.theunclemikeshow.com. If you haven't, I take it as a personal insult. We are in the Coast to Coast studios, and we have a live tweet from Ryan Aridi. He says, a Monstars defense without Ryan Aridi is a regular defense. For all I know, it's as bad as TCO's.
I have to accept that. We're washed. We are.
I got nothing
You're
to
dead
say.
to me, Ryan.
The tweet itself doesn't even deserve commentary. It's great in its own right.
Yeah, but you had trouble reading it, so it
Just
makes
drop
me
the
wonder
mic.
if you've...
No, I was pausing for dramatic effect.
Oh.
I'm not slow con.
Yeah,
I'm always on my
Stop
game.
using that name. I invented
I
that.
love it, by the way. It's great. Let's take a look at the playoff picture. In Conference A, Bearskins Wild Boys have clinched pretty much the top seeds. Predators have also clinched the playoff
Divisional
they
crown.
clinched the playoff spot. Pastor Prime are right behind them in their own subdivision, but also behind them in the standings by 3 points. Essentially, Predators would need to lose and tie at the very least to make that even a possibility. Liba Days at 5. I keep saying they're the best 5 seed I've ever seen in FPF.
Let's wait to see. Let's wait to see.
Well, the only 2 losses have come against Bearskins and Wild Boys. I find that's an impressive resume.
True.
Followed by BD Bandits, Monstars, and Snatchers. That is the playoff picture.
Simo Dash.
We have OTF, KGP Champs, the Brotherhood, Solid, and Gine 3D, technically all still alive. Texas Bearmans at 14, and Zio Frate. Those 2 teams, find something else to do with your time.
So
because
basically,
you're done for the season.
they're Bearmans, and there's no Zio Frete right now. Like the sauce is done.
That's not sauce.
Oh, I thought it was.
That translates to uncles and brothers.
Oh, I thought it was really a spaghetti sauce. That's what
I would, to be honest,
That's what I thought it was at the beginning of the season.
I would order something on the menu called Zio
Zio
Frate.
Frete. That's what I'm saying.
Ben Calendar being the linguist that he always is in many languages, not just English.
Very cunning.
So, when we look at
Shut
the
up,
bottom
Robert.
of the rankings here, we see BD Bandits starting to find their wheels a little bit. Monsters, look, they've won 2 of the last 3. One of them was by forfeit. Otherwise, they would have lost that game.
So they'd be 3 losses.
Snatchers still alive, but they have a brutal schedule. And then we have OTF, KGP Champs, the Brotherhood, who look like they'll be without Omar Jackson, who looked like he broke his leg.
Actually, it's Moy McDonald that broke his leg.
Moy McDonald?
Moy McDonald.
Oh, I apologize to Division 6 listeners who had the wrong information. Still, Moy McDonald, excellent receiver for McGill. He's an incredible talent, so to lose him is a big deal. And they already are without their starting
I'm not
quarterback.
going to say his name.
Gianni Satino.
Gianni Satino. Gianni Satino.
There we go. So let's still
It's only because he
live.
said it. It's only because he said it.
And Jenny 3D. So, do you see anyone jumping up, and do you see anyone falling out of the playoff picture?
If Terrence Morsink has enough games, or if he keeps playing with KGP Champs, rather, I see KGP Champs moving in and taking that A seed. Because I saw Terrence Morsink playing for them this week against Predators, and it was a really close game even after halftime, and then the Predators slowly pulled away. But I think if Terrence and Phil Cutler can really get their chemistry going, that'll help Brophy get more space and Fred Saleh
get a deep ball thrower.
Yeah,
with a legitimate deep ball threat now.
Exactly. So, and they don't really have to worry too much about defense because they could score enough points. So I could see KGP Champs jumping up.
To me, I see
possibly
Snatchers,
Solid too.
I see Snatchers falling out of the picture.
Can you bring up their schedule, Eagles? Snatchers?
It's brutal. If I'm not mistaken,
we know Solid plays past our prime in Monstars.
Yeah, check this out. They got the Buddies and the Bearskins in the next 2 games.
If Hugo Alone's not playing those games, they're not going to win.
I think even with Hugo, it's 2 remarkably difficult matchups. It's 2 teams that are fast enough to actually be able to keep up.
Unless Simon Dajan plays the game of his life. Games.
He can, and you know what?
He can.
And Simon,
hey, why are you laughing? I'm just saying it's possible. He
honestly,
might. He
Simon
can come in. He's done well. Yeah, he's played well.
So absolutely. I see OTF being able to jump up, and I see KGP Champs Solid again. They have 2 tricky games. Brotherhood have too many key losses on the roster, and Genie just needs too much help. So I see OTF jumping up. I see KGP jumping up, and I see potentially Monsters and Snatchers falling out of it, which makes for interesting conversation. So listen to future podcasts.
Put up the Monstars bracelet so that they don't fall out.
Well, he did it last week, and it didn't help. They lost 40-19. In Conference B, Moose lead with a 6-2 record.
Do you see how he said that a little louder than all the other names he said? Because
of
it's
course.
his team.
What's interesting about Moose, of course, is
6-2
with a minus 26 point.
That is reckless.
It is reckless, but that's the way we play. Meta Mayhem, another team surprising.
Terrence Adams is very proud of his team right now.
That's a very good team.
I know. I just wanted to drop that.
As a team, I didn't understand why people doubted from the beginning.
Huge win against VPC this past week, by the way.
Absolutely.
Huge win.
Mongoose, which you can read about in my article.
Yes.
Mongoose will holding the 3 spot for now. Sea Assassins have also clinched, luckily, because again we don't know what's happening with the roster next couple of weeks. But right now they hold onto the 4th seed. Brocation with their loss now go to 5th to number 5. They are looking at the possibility of maybe playing without Christian Sarantola for the remainder of the season. So we'll see how that goes. VPC at the 6th, followed by Prestige Worldwide and Los Luchadores closing up the playoff bracket. Right behind Los Luchadores, however, we have the Regiment. Still CRA, who are still alive, or still Cray.
Still Cray, yeah.
Les Uzis, Lassos.
Holy, Bleu Blanc still alive.
12 spot. 13 and 14 are Les Bleu Blanc, but Bengals sell stock because without Jamil Springer, I think they'll be a little bit of a mess. Rude Boys, thank you. Luckily, it's ice cream season, so you have something to help.
And the snow's melting.
Snow's melting, exactly.
So
enjoy that, because you want to enjoy the playoffs. Do you see any movement in this division? I see. First of all, there's a lot of potential for movement.
Yeah, but you go first because I went first last time.
Well, I won't talk about the top of the bracket. I'll let you do that for obvious reasons.
Thank you.
I think the Regiment sneak in at the 8th spot. I am worried about Prestige Worldwide and VPC. The only thing is I don't know who's going to move up to take their spot because still.
Eagle, can you bring up VPC's schedule?
Who? VPC?
VPC. Let's just check who they're going to play.
I got it.
Okay, Terry Tam's on it. Because VPC's streaky, right? Like when Robbie's really locked in and like him and Lursus are flowing and there's another receiver on their team.
Dan Dick.
No, not Dan Dick. It's another guy. You know his name, Mo. I think it's Zan Simmons.
They play KGP Champs and Still Cray. So Still Cray is a huge game. If they lose,
KGP Champs a huge one too. KGP's fighting for their for that bracket.
Still Cray VPC game might be a head-to-head result.
Win and you're in. Yeah,
exactly. It might be a play-in game. So that I think is particularly interesting. That being said, Still Cray, they in week 10, Terry, if you click on Still Cray.
Good job, Terry.
They play Prestige.
Ooh, so that's huge playoff. So their next 2 games are going to basically.
There's a lot of possible movement at the bottom end of that bracket. A lot of games which we'll pick as we get on. Brent, what do you think about the top end of that bracket? How do you see it shaping out? Eagle, if you bring up
the bracket,
please.
I see Moose staying on the top for the rest of the. As much as it pains me to say that, they're going to stay on top.
He sucks with you. That's why.
No, you guys. I think that I helped to make you guys better, and fair. You guys have progressed ever since. I see Moose finishing out number 1. Fred Morset seems to be really locked in. You guys are actually playing defense, which is like.
One would even say maybe we got better players on defense.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Brent Calendar.
That's probably
defensive specialist.
Meta Mayhem. Let me get this right. Alex Hollowak.
Nice!
There we go. Yeah, Alex Hollowak is playing really well. One player that we never talk about on this podcast on that team is Jeremy Anderson. I think Jeremy Anderson is one of the most underrated players in FPF. He's really smart defensively. He's fast. Offensively, he catches everything, runs crisp routes. And James Nowakowski on this team has been really playing a lot better. Like I said before, Terrence Adams has been balling out like crazy. Won them a game on a pass deflection against Salid, which was a really good game.
He batted at like 50 yards.
Yeah, he's a really good player too. Mongoose, it's going to be interesting this week because Mongoose played Los Luchadores.
Yeah.
And if Los Luchadores were to win that game, Los Luchadores jump up all the way to 3.
Yeah.
And Mongoose would fall to 9 because if Regiment wins, we have the win over Mongoose.
So how do you think the division winner? So you said Moose will win the division.
Moose will win the division.
You think Meta Mayhem will win?
Meta Mayhem will win. I think they're on a roll. That's why they're going to win it right now.
And who wins the Mongoose?
I can't really answer that because I want to say my team's going to win it. But if I would say the regiment's not
going to... My opinion is Mongoose will finish off. Well, it'll be tight, but Mongoose will finish off with it. I think you guys will sneak in the division. But let's take you out of it. Mongoose or Los Luchadores? Who would win it if not the regiment?
If Vince Nardone plays every other game now with Los Luchadores and Ed Shoshan can keep a head on his shoulders and play well, I think Los Luchadores will beat.
As long as he doesn't freeze up, so to speak.
Yeah.
Verbar Lar could win that division.
And Verbar Lar could actually jump up to win the division. That's also true. As unlikely as it is, it can happen.
Stranger things have happened.
And speaking of the strange things that might happen this week, let's do some quick picks. So I'll announce the game. I won't make the pick because I picked him on my article. What we can do instead is you tell me who will win and why. Nothing more than a sentence or two.
Oh, Mokon's chiming in.
Just want to let everyone know, with the Moy McDonald issue, the injury that occurred, the McGill fallout has begun. So McGill players will not be playing the rest of the year in flag football.
Wow, okay. That's a
big impact. I know some guys put Raphael Casey plays on the dish as well.
Is this for every division?
Every division. So
McGill.
Big impact now.
We've already had a bit of a contentious issue with CIS players. Like Canabane, for example, Laval teams they've forbid their players from playing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that has a big impact on Div 3 because there are
there's a lot of McGill players.
Absolutely. That's absolutely.
So this might alter your picks.
They can do that? That's crazy.
That's some
dropping news, Mokon.
Mokon breaking stories.
Rappaport or Adam Schefter style, right?
Absolutely.
Breaking news on you.
What is the brown name for Adam Schefter?
Insider.
Because that's you.
I don't know who.
All right, so BD Bandits OTF.
BD Bandits OTF. BD Bandits best defense. Well, supposedly one of the best defense. Yeah,
just get to the point.
OTF
because
they need it more.
So you spent all that time talking about BD Bandits who won the game.
I just want to set it up.
Awesome. No setup. Just tell me who and why. Predators past their prime. That's a fun game.
Ooh, it is past their prime experience.
Wild Boys Genie 3D.
Oh, Wild Boys.
Yeah, that's not gonna be. I don't want to watch the game. Le Bleu Blanc Noir Bengals.
Le Bleu Blanc Noir. Men.
And because of.
Men!
KGP champs against VPC. Who do you think takes this and why?
Ooh, it's a good one. I'm going to say VPC. Robbie will be able to avoid the KGP champs rusher and hit Laristus down the middle and short routes and all that.
Fair. We have Meta Mayhem facing off against Rude Boys.
Meta Mayhem.
Because Rude Boys just aren't that good.
Boys.
Yeah. Los Luchadores versus Mongoose in a very interesting matchup, and like we talked about earlier.
Los Luchadores.
Because of?
Vince Nardone.
All right. The Regiment against the Brotherhood. You can't pick it, so I'll pick this one. I think the Regiment win it, especially with the news that just broke here from Mokan, but also losing Jenny Cetino and Moy McDonald. That's a big deal. And then we have Prestige Worldwide and Still Craig.
Prestige Worldwide, overall experience, Alex Lever. It's playoff time, so he's going to lock in.
Solid Monsters.
Solid.
Blue over purple. Bearskin, Sea Assassins, and why? This is a huge one. Of course, we know that there will be some sort of discipline. We don't know about
is it whether this week.
Yes, we don't know if it'll be Dan Lazaro or not. But we know Sean Florial, he has 5 OCs. So at the very least, he'll be missing this game. But we're looking at perhaps a longer suspension as well.
I'm going to say in this game, Sea Assassins, because no one on the Bearskins will be able to stop Jomyo.
Interesting. What if Lazaro doesn't play?
Can I take this back?
I got the Bearskins.
You know why? Because I can see what's Papich covering.
What if Lazaro doesn't play also?
Which Lazaro doesn't play. There's not a chance.
Yeah, there's about a 50-50 chance of that.
Bearskins is that score kept every game. If not lost when I score keep their games. Bearskins.
See that Bearskins?
Right.
O'Connor bracelet.
Labor Days versus Snatchers.
Simo Dajne playing for his life in this game. Him and the boys. Labor Days though.
Let's do this without Raphael Casey against Brocasian, without Christian Sarantola, perhaps.
Doesn't have a quarterback.
This also may not have a quarterback.
Yeah, but they've been playing without a quarterback for long.
Hugo Henderson's back with.
Hugo Henderson is back, however.
Okay,
yeah.
so then let's do this.
La Sauce versus Moose.
I just would like to see Lasos win, but Moose is gonna.
You keep hating on Moose.
I know,
Just because we cut you.
Moose is gonna win because this is a revenge game from a year ago.
That was actually checkmate. Moose has never played Lasos.
Okay, well, you got washed, so there's gonna be a little sad.
I personally, yeah, absolutely.
So you're gonna win this game.
Absolutely. There we go. Zio Frate versus Texas Bearmans in the two teams, the most irrelevant game in Division 3.
Zio Frate.
Because it's irrelevant. Brent, final
sauce. That's why.
Brent, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Oh, if you would like to know certain scores of games during the weekend because it's a playoff impact for your team, tweet me and I will give you the score as best I can.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
Of course,
any games going on Saturday night.
we all will try to live through the games as we're there at the fields. I'm gonna go for two real quick this week. Look at this camera.
Look at the camera.
Why not the one I always look at?
Because someone jiggled a wire, Mr. Brandt.
All right, I'm gonna awkwardly look here.
Such a jerk.
And this week I'm gonna go for two, although they will be a quick two. I've learned something this week. I learned Brent no longer says true. However, yeah, I know. And we grow, we evolve. In a more serious note, I want to talk about some of the injuries. Christian Sarantola went down. Moy McDonald went down. Both had to leave. Christian Sarantola left in an ambulance. I believe the same was true of Moy McDonald. It was a rough day in FPF. Really hate to see it. It is a reality, but everyone, please be careful out there. Do what it takes to avoid injury. Do what it takes to avoid missing time from work, from whatever it is that you do outside the field, because it's absolutely brutal to see. And one of the coolest things I know in our game, and I would imagine it was similar, was all the players clapping for Christian Sarantola as he finally got off the field. I hope nothing for the best for him. There's no way to win a game. I would have preferred to have faced him all game, and the same, I'm sure, in the Brotherhood game. You always want to compete at the highest level possible. So absolutely, guys, get better soon. We can't wait to see you back on the field, and I hope all is well. So, Brett Callender, thank you for joining me. Thank you for actually doing your job.
I know, 2 out of 3 weeks.
Not bad, not bad. Also, it's really just 3 out of 9. But, Eagle, thanks for all the amazing work you've done. Mo Khan, thank you for breaking stories live on Calling the Audible. That's part of what makes Calling the Audible the greatest podcast in the history of planet Earth.
Highest ratings, by the way.
Naturally, highest ratings, baby. And, of course, I want to thank you all for letting me be myself.